You ever feel that life's just not the way that you'd like it to be? Somebody does something and you just think, that's annoying. Or they do something and you think, I hate that. Or maybe for me, two things that I used to hate. I used to hate when my wife would leave a mess. I hate that shit. I used to hate when I'm having a conversation with somebody and talking to them about working with me, and they're like really enthusiastic, and then they get to the point of making a decision and they say, I need to think about it. Hated that shit. Don't hate those things anymore. Love it. I love when somebody says, I think I need to think about it. And I love when my wife leaves a mess. Why? How and why? Let's do why first. Loving and hating are things that I'm doing. They're doings. I experience them as happenings, but I'm doing them too, right? It's both. And the experience of loving feels great. Love it. Love loving. The experience of hating, being annoyed by something, don't love it. Being annoyed is annoying. Hating on things doesn't feel good. So the primary reason that I want to love stuff instead of hate it is because my direct experience of everything out there is through my feeling about it. So if I hate something, that's affecting me more than it's affecting anything else. It's affecting me through my experience of it. So I want to love everything. My mentor says, I love everything about you. He says that to me. It's sweet when he says it. It's endearing. But only recently I got, whether he means it this way or not, that he's loving everything about me as an act for himself. Because when everything about me is lovable, he gets to only feel love towards me. And why would anybody want to feel anything other than love towards anybody? So my primary reason for hating everything I love, my primary reason for loving everything I hate to death is being able to experience love towards everything, because that's just better. I just like to live that way. And the second reason is because if I have any chance at changing anything out there, my chance at changing stuff out there is much greater through loving it than hating it. So I have more power to create in the world outside of me through love, and I also experience the world right now in a brighter, better, more enjoyable, more fulfilling way when I love what is happening out there. When I love what is. Those three words really starting to understand what the spiritual teacher Byron Katie means when she says loving what is. See, she's got this process called the work, which you haven't explored it, go to thework.com, learn about it. It's an awesome process that helps you to disembed yourself from the beliefs that are creating an undesirable experience by seeing the illusory nature of those beliefs. It's a simple process. And then once you see the illusory nature of those beliefs, you're free. And that's the essence of the process that you go to. And maybe it's deeper if you go on our courses or longer courses. I've only done our shorter ones. But what I've spontaneously realized recently, doing a lot of snapping in my videos recently. Did you notice that? Snap, snap. Anyway, what I've spontaneously realized recently is that when you're completely free of judgment around something and you're not caught up in the experience of it anymore, you can see it for what it is, and then you can actually start to fall in love with it because it is what it is. And she talks about being in love with reality, and I get it now. You know what? Reality is what actually is right here and right now. And so I was thinking of an example earlier. It's like, you don't really too often see people going around saying stuff like, I freaking hate the sky is blue. Because like everybody knows it's just going to be that way. And it would not really be useful to hate something that you know is static forever, infinitely in the past and in the future. Okay, not infinitely, but for a long time. As long as we're here, sky was blue and is blue and will be blue. So to hate it, you're really the only one creating a problem here because it's not going to change. And so we don't do that. We don't hate on things that we know are fixed. We only hate on things at which at some level we think could change. And so hating on something because we think it could be different is really resisting what is in this moment because of a possibility in the future, or that thing that was in the past that we're actually getting caught up in time, the imagined time. And so to love what is meaning actually to love what is right now, because right now it is that. And to want anything other than that to a point where it creates pain is freaking ridiculous, because it isn't the case right now, and now is where we are. So if you love what is, that means that everything that is right now is okay, which means you're okay because you're not resisting the moment and the experience, and the sky's blue, the ground is solid. We're cool, people. right? She's shouting, there's a mess, that person wants to think about it, sky's blue, ground's solid, water's liquid. It is what it is, and I love all of it because it's happening. Anything that I feel that's a resistance is a denial of the sky being blue, the ground being solid, water being liquid, the mess, the shouting, the thinking about it. Why resist that? Why hate? It just creates pain and suffering inside me. So I love what is now here because of this experience it creates then. So if that's at the end of this journey of letting go of an experience or an idea that creates an undesirable, hateful, annoying experience, what I've realized recently is I can just skip right to the end. I can just love what is right now because it's happening. And that's why, for example, I decided instead of saying I hate when my wife leaves a mess, I just jump right to I love when my wife leaves a mess. And actually, so speaking it, and it, they can be just words and you won't feel anything. So I think it's useful to go on to the full journey of letting go of the things that create the experience of hate, the illusion snapping you out of the matrix that you've created for yourself that generates your suffering, and getting to the point where you actually see that without any judgment, you can love it because it is right now. It's like, wow, I was all freaking frustrated. The sky wasn't green. And now I realize that's stupid because it is blue and it's not going to change. So I can just accept it. And now that I've accepted and I'm relaxed, it's like, actually, I kind of like that. I love that. I love the blue sky. It's awesome. And then once you experience the journey of letting go and falling in love, you can actually, that where the end point is in your body and what it feels like to love something. And then you can use the words I love in place of I hate, and you can actually jump to the embodied experience of loving that thing. And so when I speak the words, I love when my wife leaves a mess, I can at least imagine what that would be like. And that imagining loving that is the first step towards loving it. It starts on the inside anyway, and then it gets expressed outwardly. And so now when I see a mess for my wife, because I've cultivated that way of seeing it, what happens when there's a mess is the thought comes, I love when my wife leaves a mess, and my heart opens. And it's like I'm brought into contact with the actuality of who she is. I'm brought into contact with that she is sky and she is blue. And I'm not trying to make that not the case, because that would be stupid to think I'm upset because the sky is not red. I'm upset that there's a mess. It's the same thing. Or I'm upset that the counter isn't clean or whatever. It's ridiculous. Or being I'm upset that they want to think about it. It's but they want to think about it. So that's what's happening. It's perfect. I love that. I love when people want to think about it. It's not just an acceptance, it's a full embrace. And what that does is it opens your heart. Then, so that's the first win, right? Then it's wow, no matter what happens, I'm loving it. I'm not hating it, I'm loving it. And so and just as an aside, so as I'm speaking this down, I'm oh, where else do I hate? I was saying to my son recently, we don't hate anything, because he learned the word hate recently. And I was we don't hate in our family. We don't use that word. I was talking to my wife, yeah, we don't hate anything. And I was oh, remember my video? I talked about this. I'm always lying a little bit. And so it's when I say I don't hate anything, it's oh, but where do I? And so now I'm curious, where am I hating? Where is there some hate and some annoyance and push that I can look at, and I can actually start to fall in love with that? So that's the first win, right? Is to fall in love with that which you hate, so that you actually feel free, you feel liberated, you feel great. And then when your heart's open and there's an experience happening, there's a mess, or there's somebody that wants to think about it, your capacity to be creative with that is so much greater when you're in a place not just of acceptance but love. When there's an embrace around the thing, it's I love the mess. And so what I notice for me, mess is I move into cleaning it. It's and I actually really do love organizing and putting things in order and putting stuff away. So I do love her mess because I get to do it. Somebody gave me a jigsaw puzzle. Oh, I get to do a jigsaw puzzle now. With my son, he loves puzzles, right? So it's it's a mess I can organize. She gets to disorganize it and I get to reorganize it. I don't mean to shed my wife in the light of messiness. She has plenty of organization too, but on the spectrum, I'm a little over here, she's a little over there. And so, hey, she gives me jigsaw puzzles every time she makes a mess. In that same way, someone wants to think about it. Great. I love when somebody wants to think about it. And I just get really curious. So what do you want to think about? Let's talk about that. Why go off and think about it by yourself? We're here right now. And I can come into the conversation with that genuine curiosity and gentleness, not trying to push, not trying to pull, but just wanting to be with them inside that, because not only is it okay, but I love it. Let's think together. That's what I do. I help people with their thinking and to create through their mind. Let's think together. Let's think out loud. Let's create. And so your capacity to create when you're loving everything that you used to hate, I don't mean to rap, but I'm rhyming, so here you go. Your capacity to create when you love what you hate gives you the ability to generate. Yeah. So what do you hate? And what would it be like if you were to love it? How free would you be? What might you see? All right, I'm going to stop. Because today is the perfect day for you to create who you are. You are loved and you are powerful, and I am loving you simply for your being here. I'll talk to you soon.